If you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, then YouTube itself is probably one of the best places that you can go to find different tips and strategies to help you do that. But at the same time, YouTube is a minefield of terrible advice that if you follow, it could probably derail your channel before you even get it started. And today we are cutting through all that noise to expose the worst tips that absolutely no YouTuber or aspiring YouTuber should follow at any point. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to grow your channel, these are the tips that you want to avoid at all costs. The first one is posting every single day. Now, I get it. It makes sense that the more you post, the more chances people have to actually see your content. But I think the big misunderstanding with this one is in thinking that you should just post content for the sake of posting content. And that's where this idea or this tip starts falling apart. There is this ongoing quality versus quantity debate, and both are right, and you do want to focus on both. The thing is that if you only focus on quantity, posting as many videos as you possibly can, a video a day, you could very easily get burnt out, and this will lead to a drop in the quality of content that you're putting out for your audience. So this is going to end up hurting your channel more than it actually helps. So it's not about uploading a video to your channel every single day just for the sake of it. The key to this is finding a good balance to where you are able to upload as many videos as you possibly can every single week while not compromising on the quality of the content that you're putting out for your audience. At the end of the day, the better quality content that you create, the more chance you give your channel of becoming successful. And a really good example of a channel that focuses on quality over quantity is Mark Rober. He generally only uploads 1 to 2 videos to his channel every single month, and he currently has over 54 million subscribers. So obviously this is a strategy that works. So focus on creating a consistent upload schedule for your channel that you can maintain without compromising on the quality of your content. Another piece of terrible advice is simply looking at what successful YouTubers are doing and then outright copying them. It can be really tempting to just mimic a channel like MrBeast, but realistically, not everyone has around $2.5 million to spend on creating a video. So what happens if you try to directly copy these huge creators is that you simply end up doing a really poor job of it and then wonder why your channel is not taking off as much as theirs is. A big part of what makes these channels so successful is that they've been able to find their own unique voice and identity. And that's what you should try and do as well. You can look at these largest channels and use their ideas as inspiration for content that you can create on your channel, but put in your own identity, your own voice, your own personal style, because that is how you're going to stand out from everyone else who is just trying to directly copy what they're doing. YouTube already has MrBeast, but YouTube does not yet have you. Next, let's talk about YouTube SEO. Now, when people speak about YouTube SEO, oftentimes they push it as the holy grail of success on YouTube. And while it's true that SEO can definitely help your videos get discovered on the platform, it is certainly not the be all and end all. Now, don't get me wrong, SEO definitely has a very important part in your content or your channel success. And the way I like to think about the purpose that YouTube SEO actually serves is that if you bought a ticket to a concert and you've got a specific seat assignment, when you get there, there'll be an usher that will lead you to that particular seat. So your YouTube SEO or the keywords that you use are exactly like those ushers, because all they're doing is they are guiding someone to your videos because they think that they would be interested in that particular topic or the topic that your channel covers overall. But it doesn't end there, because that viewer still needs to make the decision to watch your video over all the other ones that are suggested on the page in front of them. And this is done by creating a really good, compelling thumbnail. And then once they start watching your video, you want to make sure that you create engaging content that keeps them watching from the very beginning to the very end of your video. In other words, you want to prioritize creating high quality and highly valuable content for your audience. So use SEO as a tool instead of as a crutch. And if you do want to check out how Taja can actually help do your SEO for your content, then we will link it in the description of this video, and you can go ahead and claim your 7-day free trial. Next is the niche trap. Now, finding a niche is almost always recommended, but you want to be very careful with your niche because sometimes it can actually be a trap. I've personally heard from a lot of different advice videos that you need to niche down as much as possible. But here's what you're not being told at the same time. The more you niche down and the more specific your topic or your content is, the smaller your audience gets. So while it is good to find a niche or community that you can create content for, you also want to make sure that you don't narrow it down too much to the point where the audience is almost non-existent. So in a nutshell, finding a niche is good, but narrowing down your niche too much to a point where you struggle to find an audience is not so good. So what you can do is focus on a broader topic at first and then narrow down as you grow. Remember, you can always be flexible and switch up your content depending on what your audience wants. That's the other key, making content and paying attention to what your audience wants. And this last one is not necessarily a terrible tip, but it is a very common mistake that smaller YouTubers make all the time. I know for a fact that I did. And that is treating advice as gospel. One of the worst things that you can do is treat every single piece of advice as if it's some kind of YouTube law. What works for one channel may not work for the other. The key is to experiment and find out what works for you. So don't be afraid to bend or break the rules and try something new, because your channel's success depends on your ability to adapt and innovate depending on what your audience wants to see from you. So keep a close eye on your analytics, because that is how you'll be able to tell what is working, what is not working, what you should continue doing, and what you should put on the back burner or just throw out altogether. There you have it, the worst YouTube advice that you want to avoid at all costs. And if you did find this video helpful, remember to hit that like button. At the end of the day, it's simply all about figuring out what your audience wants to see more of and creating more of that type of content. It's just about being true to yourself and your personal identity and voice on the platform. Focus on creating content that you love and that your audience will love too. Keep creating, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.